Welcome everyone to the Tethys Shipyards. I am Takeshi Yamato, the Yardmaster, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
Our next look at Star Wars craft takes us to basically the rival of the Millennium Falcon. The rival of the YT-1300, the Firespray Light Patrol craft. I say rival because their two hero ships are, well,
Yeah, Boba Fett and Han, they just don't get along.
yeah.
Anyway, Kuat, Kuat Systems Engineering designed this thing for a prison. Six of them were
Yes,
assigned to heavy patrol craft.
the
Django
Uvo.
destroyed all but one. And he stole the one. Slave one.
Yeah. Yeah. That was basically the end for production for at least 10 years. Production really only started up again either during or after the Clone Wars.
Probably after the Clone Wars. We do see a Firespray in civilian hands, and the Rebel Alliance by extension, thanks to X-Wing Alliance, apparently capitalizing on the fame of the Fats.
Yes.
Which certainly makes sense. But Slave 1 is no ordinary Firespray. As one of the original prototypes, it probably has a few things that the production versions don't exactly have, including carbonite freezing trays, extended munitions bays for concussion missiles, and maybe a proton torpedo or two, and of course, the famous seismic charges. Despite Space Dock's less than, shall we say, complimentary statements about this thing from the back, really, the back is the last place you want to be when it comes to this thing. I'd rather be flying face on and risking concussion missile fire than risking 100% certain death when Django or Boba decides to drop a seismic charge behind him, and, well, we both know how that ends.
Yeah. Obi-Wan only survived because of luck.
So, probable death? Certain death. You do the math.
Yeah.
Regardless, Firesprays were only very limited production. We can blame the Rebel Alliance for that one. After all, with the Galactic Civil War going straight to hell, yeah, we can pretty much guess how organizations that work directly for the Empire were treated, and who is more imperial than Kuat Systems Engineering.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the stats. With this thing coming out after the Clone Wars, I'm giving this thing an entered service date of approximately 19 BBY. The Slave 1, when we get to that, will be 32 BBY because, well, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Anyway, using the same baseline as we usually do, that gives us 40 and a Scale 2 starship. This thing has 43. This thing has 43 points to work with. So we'll start off by just doing 7 in everything to just balance it out, and then modify it, and then add an extra point. In this case, I'll say weapons, and then we can modify it from there.
So, it's probably going to be very engines heavy.
Right. So Comm 7, Computer 7, Engine 7, Sensor 7, Structure 7, Weapons 8. take a point away from sensors and computers each to bring engines up to 9.
Probably. Remember,
Okay.
I'm not the one statting this. I'm just the one providing.
Yeah. All right. Department-wise, I would say like the YT-1300, 2 points in con, but 1 point in security instead.
Oh joy.
Yeah. Okay. So, basic weapons for the Firespray include laser cannons. Those 2 laser cannons on the bottom of the hull.
It has a retractable missile launcher, I believe. I think I see it. Right around there.
So concussion missiles?
Yep. And, of course, the seismic bombs of doom.
Yeah.
Remember,
So
probable death? Certain death.
yeah,
Probable
I'll put the
death?
seismic. I'll put the seismic. Yeah, I'll put seismic charges in the missile, in the weapons list for the basic Firespray.
Probable, certain. Probable, certain. Probable, certain. Are we getting the point now?
Yeah. Now, in terms of a mission profile talent, we can only give this thing 1, and unlike the YT-1300, this thing does not have a modular design special rule, so it will only have 2. This baseline talent and a profile talent.
Well, it is a patrol craft. For the most part.
Yeah. Either high resolution sensors or improved repulsor drive.
Probably the latter.
Okay. Get that in. Alright. And standard wars special rules, hyperdrive, and deflector screens. For those who do not remember, deflector screens basically say the shields can only protect against energy weapons or projectile weapons. You can choose which is active at any time, but it cannot protect against both at once. And if you choose incorrectly and an enemy uses the opposite weapon type, you're taking a breach no matter what. You're just taking a breach.
Remember, don't complain to us about the rules. Complain to Lucasfilm.
Yeah. Yeah. We are just quantifying how the rules work in relation to Star Trek Adventures.
As for Slave 1, wow.
Right. I'll make a document I'll do a make a copy. Slave 1. Let's see. Hero ships. Select. Make a copy. Okay, here we go. Slave 1 dock coming up. Move that into position. Alright. Slave 1. Entered service 32 BBY. And so basically the same kind. We're going to need to add a few more things because this is basically the prototype. But first, let's see about giving this thing a profile.
Bounty hunter, obviously.
Yeah, let's see. Mission profile. Let's see. Just going by the basic Utopia Planitia mission profile things, we could go with patrol or possibly tactical operations.
TAC ops.
Alright. Tactical operations. That is Command 2, Con 3, Security... Command 2, Con 2, Security 3, Engineering 2, Science 1, Medicine 2. And just for point of reference, Patrol was Command 1, Con 3, Security 3, Engineering 1, Science 2, Medicine 2. I might... Tactical operations, I'm going to modify that. So, tactical operations modified. I'm going to take 1 point from command and put that into con, similar to patrol. So, command 1, con 5, security 4, engineering 2, science 1, medicine 2. And for a profile talent, I'm going to give this thing fast targeting systems.
After all, crack pilots. And most certainly Boba Fett.
Yeah, and he's probably backed that up with the best targeting hardware he can buy.
Being a bounty hunter is not a glamorous job.
Yep. Alright, I will work on statting the weapons, laser cannons, concussion missiles, seismic charge.
Shoom.
And...
I'm sorry, it's not getting old. Probable death. Certain death.
Yep. And of course, I will also do the derived stats. So, resistance equal to scale. And so resistance 2, power is 9 equal to engines. Shields are structure plus security, so 7 plus 4 is 11. Now, for descriptor traits, I've given the basic Firespray just has independent starship for now.
Well, obviously, perhaps famous clone.
Yeah, famous clone works. Independent starship. Famous clone.
Rather fittingly, because a clone of a famed bounty hunter is flying this damn thing, and every single Firespray is cloned directly from Slave 1.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for the Slave 1 prototype, infamous prototype.
Very infamous prototype.
Infamous prototype. Any other ideas?
Don't get behind it.
Yeah, infamous prototype. Deadly aft.
Because, let's be honest. Foomp. Because if you get behind it, the seismic charge is going to kill you.
Indeed. I'm going to use mine rules for statting a seismic charge. I'll use a photonic mine, just like I'm using photonic torpedoes for proton torpedoes.
It certainly makes sense. Just don't get behind this thing. It is death.
Yeah. So that is basically Slave 1.
And her descendants.
Yeah.
As unconventional as this thing is, and she is very unconventional, she does one hell of a job. Of course, that's only if you can afford it. If you can't, well...
Yeah.
Bye-bye.